Good evening, everyone. You know, it seems like just a little while ago we were all meeting here, and now we're meeting again. I think we're addicted, right? I know I am. So how's everybody doing today? What a great day in the market. Hey, history was made today. Dow Jones hit 30,000. Man, that's amazing, isn't it? That is truly that's history making. It really is. Very, very cool. Very cool that happened there. Hey, you too, Ron. Happy Turkey Week. Yeah. Oh, Jason, you're too kind. You're too kind, Jason. Hello, Scotty. YouTube channel, first time guest in this. Oh, really? Well, welcome, Scotty. This is your first time here. Yes, BC, this is recorded. Yep. Recorder's running, by the way. Yeah. Glad to have you here. Hope you asked a lot of questions. Hey, Malcolm. Hey, Doll. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Okay, so we'll certainly look at some charts tonight. I do have a specific topic I want to talk about, and I have struggled even where to start on this because I don't know where to start. And so I'm just going to kind of dive in. I hope I don't bounce around too much, but we'll get through it all. The first thing that I want to say is there's been a couple people asked, so let me, please let me work with this just for a second. Our Black Friday sale is a lifetime membership if anyone is in. And this is, Right Way Options also has a Black Friday sale. Same thing. And it includes it includes all printed material, any paid webinar in the past, any paid future webinars, everything. I mean, the only thing it does not cover is private coaching, and so anyway, a couple people's already PM'd me for it, and I hope that answers it right there. So lifetime membership, there's an $825 savings right now. All right, let's put this out of the way. All righty. Shay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. All right, so let's talk about this. I want to bring up the Road to Wealth account tonight, and I'll tell you why in just a minute here. Some of you already know, but I want to bring it up. And I hope to clear up a lot of questions, and we'll certainly look at charts, and I'll try to incorporate it there. I don't want to take up the entire night with this, but I do think it's worth talking about because I think everybody here is looking for a better way to make money in the stock market. I am not saying what I'm going to say here tonight is a better way. But as we search for a better way to make money, or an easier way maybe, or a better way to make more money, we have to try different things sometimes until we find what works for us. So think of this as just another idea maybe. Maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But I get an awful lot of questions on how this has been done. And here's what I'm talking about. Today was a landmark day for the Road to Wealth account. We started it 3 months ago to double the money. We started a new Road to Wealth account for $10,000, and we gave ourselves a goal of 12 months to double. I like the idea of doubling. Doesn't that sound good? But what we did is it didn't work out too well. We didn't double it in 12 months. We actually doubled it in 3 months. So what's going to happen is I'm starting the Road to Wealth account over again. Now, I'm not taking any money out. We're going to start with the money that has been created. So we started with $10,000 3 months ago. Today it's worth $19,000. Actually, it was worth $20,000 and like $20,250. Right now, right at the close today, it's worth $19,972. Okay. So I'm going to start the Road to Wealth account again because now I want to double this in 12 months. So my goal in 12 months from now, we're going to call it December 1. So 12 months from now, my goal is to have $40,000 in the account. Now, if say it doubles in 6 months, then I'm going to start it over, and then we're going to double that in 12 months. And we're just going to keep doing this, doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling. Okay, so now that you know what this is kind of about. No, not really, Jason. Thank you, though. Thanks, Tim. I do, Shay, appreciate it, everyone. Thank you. But you can do this, too. All right? Everybody can do this. This is not anything special. It truly is not. And also, I want to share something with you that it's shared with me, but not necessarily shared with the public. So I cannot mention any names. I cannot allude to anybody. I cannot do that. But they share things to me privately. And I got to tell you, I'm proud. Double it in 3 months. I'm excited. I am. I'm ecstatic. And I'm going to work hard to double this next one inside 12 months. And I will be just as happy if I do it in 3 months or if I do it in 12 months. I'll be ecstatic. But I got to tell you, there's people here with Hit and Run Candlesticks that do far better than I do, okay? And like I say, I can't shout out who they are. They're here. A few of them are here anyway. And you know who I'm talking to. And I want to say congratulations to those folks because they are animals. I'm telling you, they're animals. And they rock it. And so it's not like I'm doing something that Vivi, you can't do, or Shay, or Jason, Bobby, Tim C. Maybe you guys all do it. I don't know. But and please, you feel free. Anybody can share anything here you want. In fact, I think that's one of the best things you can do for your trading education is share what you're doing because it creates some accountability. And when you have that accountability, boy, that sure makes a difference. It really does. So, run its options. It's very simple. We're going to go over that tonight too. It's very simple. Puts and calls, directional options. That's it. Okay, that's it. I do not believe anybody that just trading stock can actually make those kind of numbers. I just don't believe it. I've traded for 34 years now, and up till just a few years ago, I've never traded an option. And I've made money, but I just don't believe you can make that much money with so little money. That's the amazing thing. With so little money. I mean, if you have $1 million maybe, you could trade stock and you could do pretty good. But to be able to take such small amount of money and make it bigger money, I only in options can you do this. And any chart we look at, by the way, can be traded options or stock. I mean, if there's options on it. Just because I look at a stock, just because I trade a stock doesn't mean it's only for options. You can absolutely trade just the stock, okay? All right, so trading, there's a lot of pressure on a lot of people trading, and a lot of people trade, for different reasons. Maybe it's maybe it's to make rent. I don't know. I in my years I've heard of people doing that. Maybe it's a supplement to retirement, something like that. And right now maybe it's to help cover lost income. I mean, right now with the situation that we're in with COVID, maybe you're here because you're trying to supplement that income. And so the pressure that a trader has on them is incredible. I mean, the pressure is humongous when you're trying to do that. And, we're all trying to make money. So there's, to every single one of us, there's a certain amount of pressure that we have. And on some folks, it's even greater pressure. So one of the key things to trading, I think, is to try to eliminate that pressure. And you can eliminate that pressure by just following. And I hate to keep saying a few rules. It's all you need is a few rules. I hate to say that because I can almost feel people getting turned off by that. It's like for years you've heard create a plan and trade your plan, trade the plan, plan your trade and trade the plan. There we go. And you can almost hear people start getting turned off with that. I really can. I feel it already that, I don't want to hear that crap. Just show me how to trade. It's not that simple. And I promise you that if you create a plan and you trade every chart with a plan, then some of those pressures will be lifted off your shoulder. And then as you get more comfortable with that, you'd be amazed how much more pressure will be lifted off. That's right, Jason. Trading is very psychological, and more times than not, the problem is between our own ears. It really is. We cause the majority of our own problems. Okay, so let's start a few things and let's look at some charts. Simple rules that I have. Okay, very, very simple, and I can't use that word only. All right, because that's not true. I'm going to say 98% of the time, this is what I'm going to trade. The other 2%, sometimes I take those oddball trades, take Apple. I bought some Apple today. That goes against everything I'm about to talk about tonight. But you know what? You're allowed, it's your money. You're allowed to trade whatever you want. Whatever you want. I chose to take something like Apple here. It does not meet my rules. No way, no how. I can't crunch the chart up. I can't make it meet my rules. But I wanted to trade some Apple. And if you want to do that, you certainly can. You can break whatever rules you want. I would suggest, though, once you get a set of rules and once you start making a little bit of money, once you see the possibilities, I wouldn't go trade whatever you want just right then. I would trade for a while, make some money, prove to yourself what you're doing. Prove to yourself that it works before you go off the reservation and do these things that do not meet your rules, okay? Yeah, and I had a lot of people ask me about this, trader. It just really goes against a lot of my rules, but I wanted some Apple, and I've been looking at Apple. I really want Apple down here, but I might not get it. And the last thing I want to do is sit around and wait for Apple to get up here. Then I'm going to really be mad at myself. So I'm willing to take the trade. As long as you have a couple rules in there, it's okay. Like your protective stop, for instance. And if you're wrong, admit you're wrong and move on. That's a huge rule that I think a person needs to do when they're trading. If you have a stop in place, and if man, we get below this stop line here. Now, you get below the stop line, you want to make sure you're stopped out. Now, one thing that I do is I try to wait to the end of the day. So let's say, for the sake of argument, Apple does this tomorrow, okay? You guys see that? Okay, let me make this a little bigger. So let's just say Apple does this right here tomorrow, all right? What I try to do is wait to the end of the day. Now, where I won't wait to the end of the day is if Apple just trickles down, trickles, and the market is moving down. I'll close that stinker out in a heartbeat if I see the market also trickling down. So, but anyway, this is totally out of my norm. Okay. All right. So, all right. Let's talk about this. Here's what I want. What I want is let me put up the 3 exponential. It's not up here. There we go. And let's make it a little bigger. There you are. So what I'm after, and let's get rid of all that. What I'm after is I want the 3 exponential trending above the T-line, and I want the T-line trending above the Trendicator. That's a simple rule. That is extremely simple. And the Trendicator, by the way, is just the 17 exponential moving average. That's all these red and green dots are. That's all it is 17 exponential. That is a very simple rule. And all I have to do is follow this rule, and I've increased my probabilities like crazy. Another rule that I have for, except for certain strategies, such as the rounded bottom breakout strategy, okay? Yes, Vince, T-line's the 8 exponential. Now, this rule does not apply to the rounded bottom breakout. But I also like to see the 34 EME trending, and that's, let me darken it up for you. There we go. That's the 34 EMA. I like to see that trending as well. Again, this is not a hard rule to live with. But you do have to say, I no longer will trade anything but this. I will no longer buy down here. This is taboo. In my world, okay, in my world, in my trading world, this is taboo. This is all I want to do. And if I miss a trade, that's okay. There are hundreds of trades falling down the pipe all the time. So it's not like you're going to miss out on anything. Another thing that I like is the 50 period moving average also trending up. Now, a lot of times I won't use this. A lot of times that won't matter. A lot of times I'll just, in all my scanning, this is what I look for. I look for the 3 EMA trending above the T-line above the 17, and the 17 above the 34. All my scans are written that way. I don't even have to have this stuff on the screens. I know if it comes up on my scans, that's what it's going to be. Some of the scans, I do have the 50 period moving average trending as well. So this is what I want right there. I want this moving up. And then all I'm going to do is I'm simply going to look for, let's use this. I'm simply going to look for those little pullbacks, just like that. Those little chart patterns, those little consolidation areas, and that's where I want to place my entries, just like that. Now, one of the things that we use a lot, and I do mean a lot, is the 3/8 trap, and I know everybody here has heard of it. Now, well, maybe there's somebody that hasn't. But all the 3/8 trap is, it's nothing magical about it. All I'm saying is I want my scan to give me a chart that is trending just the way I've described, and I want to be alerted when it's in the 3/8 trap. That's it. After that, it becomes up to me what to buy the chart, decide whether I like the chart. Just because price is in the 3/8 trap does not mean that it's a buy. There's a few other things that go into it, like what are we doing over here? What are we doing over here? How did we get here? Things like that. What kind of resistance lies above us? And those are things that we just have to learn from the chart. A little bit of experience. Doesn't take a lot. Really does not. So, recap real quick. 3 above the T-line. T-line above the 17. 17 above the 34. 34 trending. That's main. As a secondary, maybe the 50 trending. Simply look for price that has gone up, and pulled back, gone up and pulled back. Here's one. Gone up and pulled back. Gone up, pulled back. Gone up, pulled back. That's all I'm looking for. That's it. Now, another thing I'm looking for that this really takes a ton of pressure off me when I'm trading. It really, really does. And I got to tell you, this is something I'm extremely proud of. I'm 60. I'll be 63 years old in December. I'm proud of the fact that I am not on any blood pressure medicine. I do not have high blood pressure. My wife says, "Why don't you have high blood pressure? You're doing all this stuff. You've got 6 screens. You're looking at all this stuff. You're talking to people. How do you do this?" This is very calming for me. Thanks, Jason. Because I have a strategy that I work with, and that is it. I am. To a lot of folks, I am. And it's not the age. I'm just proud that I don't have to take blood pressure medicine. I'm very pleased with that. That's something that I work hard at to keep that way. Okay. So, drugs and beer. So, and the reason is when I'm looking at a chart, I know exactly what I'm looking at. I have everything in place already. Everything. So this is important, and this is part of your plan. This is not like, it's not like I look at every single trade and plan it all from scratch. It's not like that at all. Yeah, oops, that's not it. I've got half the plan done every time I look at a chart. Half the plan is already done. I've already got the trend. I've already got that there. That's so comforting to know that. So I want to make sure I get questions here. So let's see, Chris, Gordon. Once you've established your approximate dollar risk or a given trade, do you have a general guideline on how much of the overall account you allow that amount to be? There's no one size fits all, but curious about my thoughts. Okay, Frank or Gordon, somebody asked me this in the room today, and I hate this question, just so you know. I am going to answer it thoroughly, but I hate this question, because what I'm going to tell you is not what I think you should be doing. And there's some differences. There really is some differences. For instance, and there's, by the way, there's people here I know for a fact that's been trading a lot longer than I have, all right? So I can only talk about my space. 34 years trading. The fact that I am making money, I am making a living trading. The fact that I've proved it with the first Road to Wealth account, taking $10,000 to the height of $78,000 inside 30 months. Now the second Road to Wealth account, I plan to do more. You know why? Because the first one, when I was doing it, I was going through 9 months of cancer. So, feel sorry for me. I feel sorry for myself. But I think what I did was pretty darn amazing, and it's sticking to the rules. This time, there's not going to be any of that cancer business. I'm going after this one hard. So I have proved that I can do it. No, I'm not. Tim, believe me, I'm not. I'm not. I have proved it. So with that said, Gordon, here's what I do. Right now, until I grow the account more, I am spending close to 10% of the account per position. I say close because sometimes I a little less and sometimes a little more. Now, I will say this. I scale up, okay? So right now, counts at, whoops, I was a poor 2. The count's at 20K, all right? I am not going to spend $2,000 per position. I will not. See, I'm already scaling because I have reached a good number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep from doing this, I'm lowering that amount. And right now I'm spending close to $1,500 per position. So I'm lowering my risk a little bit. I'm lowering my risk, okay? So to get here, I raised my risk because I wanted to get there a little quicker. But keep in mind, I knew I could do this. Now, I had no idea in 3 months, but I knew I could do this. So I was willing to risk a little bit more. Now I'm risking a little bit less because that is starting to move up more. But what I may do is I may start to put a couple more positions on, and that's how I scale it up a little bit. That's how I'm going to scale it up. Now, when this number grows, then I will raise this number up a little bit, but I have dropped this number off a little bit. Okay? So that's what I do. You bet, Gordon. You bet. Let's see. John, when do you bail? We're going to talk about stops in a minute, John. I assume that's what you mean. For those who are working people, can you talk about how we could use a plan like this? Sure. You see MGM right here? I think MGM is set up pretty doggone nice. And every day for my YouTube video, my trade ideas I put out every single day, I draw a buy box. And it's all it is this is where you buy. So create a bracket order where you want an order between this price and this price, and then set that stop in there wherever you want to put that stop. And we're going to talk about stops in a little bit. It's very simple. It's not complicated. Not complicated at all. If you want to buy on breakouts, all right? So this is the chart right here. You know where it closed, $28.45. If it comes up and crosses, pick a number, close to that. Maybe you want it exactly that $28.45. Maybe you want to go 10 cents above. If it crosses up there, you buy it. You just place the order, and then it automatically goes through. You have to make sure you put your stop on. And again, we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Put the stop on. Once everything's in place, have a target up here, and we're going to talk about targets as well tonight. All right. I'm hoping this is an hour night, but I'm already seeing it's not going to happen. So, and I'm okay with that. I'm all right. So it is very doable for the folks that's working out there or not able to be in the trading room. By the way, you guys know that I hope you all know that every trade I take, I post on an app that we have, a special members app, and trial members also get this. So every trade I take, I post the month, the strike price, the cost, what a cost I paid, and I post a stop. And by the way, nothing is an emergency. Nothing is an emergency. It's not like, oh my God, I got this alert, I need to go buy this. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay? So it's really easy to do. Real easy to do. All right, let's see here. Vince, 6 plus 3 equals 9, which is a divine number. Okay. The first road to wealth account. That's it. It was Gordon. I have to be honest with you. I had no idea how it was going to turn out. I truly did not. I had no clue. It never dawned on me, never occurred to me that $5,000 could grow like that. It just didn't occur. And there's no way to do it if you're just trading stock. It's impossible. I truly think it's impossible. So, and a lot of people have asked me, why don't I get into fancier options? Why? 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 It's not broken. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. It's not broken. It works. It works. So, let's see, Drew. Sorry, for those of who are working people. Oh, okay, we did that. Let's see. How many stocks do you follow on average? Ron, a lot of it depends on the market condition. Sometimes I might be in 13, 14 stocks, and sometimes only 3, and sometimes in cash. It really all depends on market condition. So I couldn't even begin to tell you an average because it's all over the place. Let's see, Gibby, is that trade size or risk size to stop? That's how much money I spend on a trade, Gibby. Gibby, I want to try to keep this as simple as possible, okay? Trading should be simple, and this is exactly what I do. Here, let's do this. I'm gonna do this right here. We might as well. I was gonna get to this anyway. So let me type in MGM. So, and I'm going to. Well, we'll see what happens. I've never brought. Well, let's see what happens here. So I'm going to go at least 50 days out. So I'm going to start with January right here. And all I'm looking for is good open interest and around 70. So I'm going to stop right here. Here's 24.22 on the open interest, and here's a 71 delta. I'm happy. So let's go for a 26 strike right there. I'm going to click on this, and then what this does, let me bring this down. It creates a ticket. So I've got preview on. Okay, so I'm going to click buy. Oh, there we go. I was wondering if this was going to come up here or somewhere else. So right now, my cost would be $375. This is exactly what I do. Now I can spend more than that. So let's do this. Let's spend 5. Let's buy 5 contracts. That's $1,875. Well, you know what? I kind of want it more around that 1,500 mark. So let's drop this down 1 contract. And I do this. This is what I do. There we go. Right on the money. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click send order. Now I'm not going to do that right now. Not going to do that. But I send the order and bada boom, bada bang, the game is over. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is, let me put this back and put this back. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is set up the stop. I'm in the trade, okay? Now I'm going to set the stop up. Now, what you're looking at is a monitor that's right in front of me. On the left-hand side, I have a monitor, and on the right-hand side, I have another monitor, just completely parallel with this. So on this other monitor, I've got some other charts, and on those charts, I have things like the volatility stop. I use this an awful lot. I don't talk about it very much, but I use it an awful lot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my stop, okay? And I like to paint this red. Red always means a stop or danger or something like that. Another thing I'm going to do is I also have over on this other monitor another chart. Now, this is the daily, but I have a 3-bar chart. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the stop here. Now, during the day, that one's moving. So let's say this is live during today. I'm going to go down to that next one right there. Okay? Now, this is exactly what I do. Now, I may not put 2 lines here. I'm doing this for you tonight. So let's go back to the daily chart. And let's see, yeah, let me paint this red. I didn't do that. Let me paint this red right there. Now we'll go to the daily chart. Now from there, I can dial my stop in. For instance, down here, that's a joke. That's not going to happen. That's way too far down there. So let's just get rid of it. That's an absolute joke. It's not always a joke, though. Some charts, that works out, the daily works fine. Well, in this case, I'm going to take a look at that 3-bar chart volatility stop. So I'm going to look at that, and now I'm going to use price action, because in the end, price action is what counts. In the end, that's what counts. And that's something that we have to get through our heads. We can't rely on indicators. The indicators are worthless, absolutely worthless when you're looking at a chart. I'll talk about them looking at scans. I absolutely have some on some scans, but on the chart, you don't want that stuff on your chart. So I'm looking at this and I'm seeing, all right, this stop here, there's good reason for the price not to go below that level right there. I can see that. Resistance, 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 support. That looks like a pretty impressive line. I like that. Now what I'm going to do is, let's say I buy it here. I'm going to move this out of the way. There we go. So I bought it up here. I'm going to check, make sure that's not ridiculous. It's 4.6%, so that's very much in my wheelhouse. That's okay with me. Now, if 4.5% is too much for you, then you've got to make other adjustments. But for me, I'm okay with that. So, you know what? There it is. I'm just going to leave it right there. Now, as price moves up, I'll adjust it. And excuse me. And here lately, that's something I've been adding to that app. When I make an adjustment, I will post. I've adjusted, say, MGM to 2804 maybe, something like that. So it's real easy to follow along. So does that help with this whole, give you with the stop? It's very simple. I spend X dollars and everything is done right here on the chart. Everything is done right there. Gordon, thanks, Gordon. Super helpful. Manny, first timer, welcome. Welcome. Manny, the original name to Hit Run Candlesticks was Hit Run Candlesticks Trading for Profit. Did you know that? Some of you might not know that. Here, a couple years ago, we dropped the Trading for Profit, and it's just Hit Run Candlesticks. But originally, it was Hit Run Candlesticks Trading for Profit. So, when you say, are you primarily a swing trader or a day trader? I'm a profit trader. I'm a profit trader, okay? So, and I will answer your question without, you will know exactly what I am here in just 1 second, 2 seconds, okay? So, let's say you buy a stock, and let's make this green. Let's say you buy a stock today, this morning, and at the end of the day, it moves up to the tune of 30%, okay? 30%, one day. And you close that out because that's 30%. Does that make you a day trader? I think not. I think that makes you a profit trader. Huge difference, okay? Now to answer your question, 100%. I am a swing trader. I am not a day trader. But, if the trading gods want to give me 30% in one day, who am I to say not to take it? So I hope that makes sense to you. But in the end, I'm a profit trader. And we're going to talk about taking those profits here in a little bit too. How many trades per week are you doing? Doll, how can a person possibly answer that? How is it possible that somebody can answer that, Doll? There's things that just drive me nuts, okay? One of them is I hear these things like this where the probability of a bullish engulf, for instance, that's a lot of horse pucky of anybody that can predict that. You cannot predict the probabilities of a bullish engulf being successful. It's impossible. You would have to have a computer. You would have to have the largest computer in the world to make this calculation. There's things that you can't answer. For instance, what if you buy the chart on a day and the next day there's some political something that tanks the market? What if Wall Street is snowed in? It's not going to be a good day to trade. There is no way to predict that. So what this has to do with your question is, I don't know what tomorrow's going to be like. I don't know what the next day is going to be like. I don't know if a hurricane's going to go into Wall Street. I don't know if there's going to be a war tomorrow. I don't know if I don't know that stuff. So how can I possibly answer how many trades per week am I doing? You can't possibly answer that. It's impossible. So bottom line is, I generally run, say, between 5 and 10 positions. That's a good number for me. And sometimes I might go 2 weeks with only 5 positions. Sometimes I'll be in cash for 3 or 4 days. It's all dependent on the market condition. All dependent on the market condition. So there's absolutely no way. And what's important, really important about this, is we put all these things in play that don't matter. We've had people, both here with me, Run Candlesticks, and I know with Doug with Right Way Options, we've had people say, well, I'm not going to follow your service unless you give me 10 trades a week. You know what we write back? Go somewhere else then. We don't pop out trades just to pop out trades. We just don't do that. And that would be very irresponsible. And can you imagine the pressure on people to think that, oh, I've got to trade this many trades a week or a day, something like that. So I hope what you're taking from this is that that's one of those things in trading that it doesn't matter how many trades you make a week. It doesn't matter. And it has no value to you personally how many I take a week. It has zero value. Okay? And by the way, thank you for that question. That's the kind of questions that starts weeding out the junk compared to real trading, what really needs to be done. So thank you so much. I hadn't even thought of that. I've got some notes here, so thank you. Let's see. Yes, I'm recording this, Lynn. What's the success rate? Here's the success rate. This is another one of these questions. I started in mid-August with $10,000. As of today, right now today, this is August this year. Today, I'm looking at the account right now, $19,972. That's the success rate. Now, this is another one of these questions. Does it matter if I hit 10 for 10, or does it matter if it's 1 out of 10 that I hit? That is the success rate right there. That's what counts. That's what counts. When we're trading, we look for all this stuff. We look for all this stuff to do and to think about that takes away from what really, really counts. And what really counts is focusing on being a chart master. That's what counts. Be a chart master. Be a chart master. That's what counts, okay? So, and honestly, Don, that's my success rate. And that's what I count. That's what I look at. Let's see. He uses the scanner. Oh, yeah. You don't have the scanner. The scanner's the way to go. Can you discuss the steps you go through during early part of trading day, which is your LTA scan and how you work through the set up a trade. Sure. I mean, like right now, let's look at some charts that's, where am I here? Well, let's take, no, let's don't do this. Well, let's take Alley. And what I'm looking at is the trap, one of my scans called the trap yesterday, okay? So Alley, I look at Alley. It's real simple. Do you like the chart or not? If you do, trade the chart. I don't need to look at another chart. TXN is also on that list. Do you like TXN? Can you see a trade? I don't look through 50 trades to find the best one. If you like this trade, take the trade. That's what I do. KNSL is another one. Do you like this trade? If you like this trade, set the plan up. Take this trade. And that's truly what I do, Drew. And I mean, I wasn't making it up. There is Alley, TXN, KNSL, right there. These are stocks that are set up to be trending. They're set up to be in the trap. They're set up to show me bullish candlesticks at the time of this print. And that's what I do. I go look at that chart, and if I can see that, hey, look, I'm going to take that chart. You'll see me sometimes go to a weekly chart real quick or to a monthly chart. All I'm looking at to see, is there any problems I have over here? Well, I can see this is reaching all-time new highs. So that's music to my ears. This is a buy either here on a breakout, slightly above. The whole buy area to me is in here like this. That's the whole buy area to me. Even up here, even up there. Does that make sense, Drew? You see, and this is one of those things that it is that simple. It truly is that simple. But the thing is, you've got to know what to look at. So I want to go back to be a chart master. Know and recognize that chart pattern. Be able to spot instantly the fact it broke out. Be able to notice that you've got more bars holding those lows than you have all over the place. That's a nice chart to me. I will flag that. So that's going to be on the watch list tomorrow morning. That's a good looking chart. So let's set up the stop. Are we okay? Here's the daily volatility stop right there. I'm going to go to the 3-bar chart. Oh, there's no question in my mind where I'm going to go with the stop. Look at that. There it is. I'm going to put it right there. Let's go back to the daily. And now let's do the math. Can I afford this? Let's see. 4.37%. Yes, I can afford it. I'm owning it just like that. I'm absolutely owning it. S.E. Gordon, I'm glad you'll be talking about stops and profit exits as well. Yes, in fact, we'll talk about that right now. About 3 months out and 2 strikes the money. Which strike to focus on, etc. All right, let's bring this one up. Let's do this. And guys, this is. Whoops, what did I do? Oh, there it is. This is another one of these things that a lot of people focus on, and you don't need to. This is not important, okay? This isn't. Write this down, and this is all I do. Now, I'm not saying, and please understand, I'm not saying this is the best thing for everybody. It's not. You've got to find what works for you. I'm just sharing what works for me, and you might want to tweak it around. That's all. All right, let's go type in KNSL. KNSL. So here we are. I always go 50 days plus. Very simple. There's no complication there. That's guaranteed. So there we are, 50 days. Do I have open interest? No, I don't. So what am I going to do? Because I like this chart. I want this chart. So let's go February. Anything? Nope. April. Nope. May. Nope. Goodness sakes. That's about as there's no options in it. So there you go. As much as I like this chart, I cannot trade this chart. I will not, I cannot, I have to move on. I absolutely have to move on. Let's see, what was another one of those stocks? Let's look at TXN. All right, let's take TXN. Let's see what we have here. What is that? Texas Instruments. Yeah. Well. Uh-oh. What just happened? Don't anyone go away. Uh-oh. Seriously, what happened here? Oh. There we go. Everybody still there? Test 1, 2. Everybody still there? The craziest thing, my screen just went blank. Craziest thing. Okay, that was weird. All right, so let's bring this back up. Where's the recorder? Hang on here. Hang on, people. Let me... Oh, there's the recorder. Okay, there's the recorder. All right, whew, thought I lost it. My goodness, that was spooky. Okay, let's type in TXN. TXN, there we go. 24 days, nope. 52 days, yep, we'll try that. Do I have, oh, now we're talking. Now I see some open interest. I like around 70. That's plenty open interest right there. So there's 74. That's okay. That works. So I'm simply going to click on that. That fills in my ticket, and I can make that trade. It's no more than that. Okay. So 50 days plus. We could go over here March. That would work probably right there. 167 on the open interest, 145 strike. That would work. Honestly, I like the January better because it's just more. 74 delta. I'm good with that. My cost is going to be somewhere between 1205 and 1260. I'm good with that. I'm ready to go. I place that trade, and now what I'm going to do, and I already know I like the trade. I don't set my stop up first. I like the chart. I'm in it. Now I go set the stop. I can see in the chart that if we break out here, which we did, and I'm using the body right here. I use bodies an awful lot. And it happens to coincide with those tops right there, so I'm okay with that. That's a good-looking chart. So I'm all about that. So here's the daily, and since the market's closed, we can use that. So that's 3.4%. That's definitely in my wheelhouse. Let's go to a 3-bar chart. Oh, man. I look at the 3-bar chart. I see a low, high, higher low, higher high. Yeah, I'm going to drive that up. I don't want it to go past the low, high, higher lows. So there's my stop. Now we go back to the daily. There you go, right there. That simple. That simple. And Gordon, if you have any other questions here that I missed, you shout out at me, okay? Hi, Sam. Do you set targets, target and stop watching intraday chart? Do you set target and stop watching an intraday chart? Let's break this down. Do you set a stop? I just showed how I do that, okay? Now the next question is, do you set a target? All right, let's talk about targets, okay? This is important. Now, you see what I did? All I did was check to see if we're at all-time new highs, or do we have something going on over here like we're a double top, that sort of thing. So when there's all-time new highs and the stock is, and by the way, for those of you that can't trade a $155 stock, don't worry about the price. This is just an example. You can find them at $20 all day long, all right? So you don't worry about price. So when I see a stock making an all-time high, the world is your oyster up here. The sky's the limit. There is no limit. You don't need a target. Now, let me talk about targets, okay? Let me talk about targets. This is near and dear to my heart. I think this is one of the keys of the road to wealth success. I truly, truly think that. Okay. I work on a goal, not a target. What I do look for is a path. So when I look at a chart, I've got to be able to see a path, the path up. And if I see a path up, then I'm okay with this trade. Targets don't matter to me. I just need to see a path. All right. So I'm going to share something with you that I would like you to write this down. And I would like you to think about this the rest of tonight when we're finished here. I want you to sit down in your easy chair. I want you to get your cocktail or your Coke or your water or your chips and dip or whatever you're doing. And I want you to think about this. This is mind-blowing to me. I still can't get my head around this completely. And this is something I learned when I first started the first Road to Wealth account. And I saw what was happening. And I had absolutely no idea how it was going to turn out. Mind-blowing. Okay? Now, I want to write something here. Bear with me for a minute. The first Road to Wealth account. Well, let me do it a different way. The second Road to Wealth account, $10,000 in the account. Okay? My goal, let's try this again. There we go. Goal was to double it. So I want to make it $20,000. All right. Now, in my mind, there is 243 days a year to trade. Now, you may be a little bit different, okay? This is just me taking the holidays, taking the, natural holidays, taking some days off for me, some sick days. This is just my number, okay? Your number may vary a little bit. There's nothing magic about that. It's just how many days a year do you want to work? And that's what I estimate I work. That's what I estimate. So 243 days. What I want to do now, I want to increase the account by $10,000, right? So divide 10,000 into 243. All right, so we probably should do this. Okay? You know what that equals? That equals $42 a day. Folks, that is mind-blowing to me. $42 a day net is all I have to do or had to do in 12 months to double that money. That's mind-blowing. Right now, we're closing this account, not in real life, but this goal is no longer. Now the goal is to turn $20,000, I'm just going to write G here, into $40,000 in 12 months. There's still 243 days to work. So we're going to divide 20,000 into that. Do you know what the new number is? $82 a day. To me, that is mind-blowing. To me, what? You mean that all I have to make is $82 a day and I can turn $20,000 into $40,000? Please write this down. When you're sitting in your easy chair tonight, just think about that. Just think about what you can do there. And go ahead, do the math. So, you turn your 20 into 40. Now what are you going to do? You're going to turn your 40 into, 80. You still have 243 days. Do the math. How much do you have to have? It's crazy. And as your account grows, you can scale up now. So you can buy more shares or more contracts, whatever you do. It's not that anything changes. I'm still going to trade TXN the same way I've traded it. I'm still going to do the same thing. Exactly. All I'm doing now is I'm maybe buying more contracts because I have more money to do that with over here, I guess. So let's talk profits. So here's what I like to do. I like to buy multiple contracts, more than one. Sometimes I cannot because the price is too expensive. That's okay. When I reach a good, happy place, I sell it all. So my number now, as of today, will be $82, not $42. So when the stock moves up and my profit reaches $82, well, you know what? I'm not going to sell it. However, I am going to become a bit protective of that. A bit protective. I don't care if it's right here or up here. Target's got nothing to do with it. Targets are for people that want to stand on top of the mountain and say, I told you so. I told you it was going to go there. I told you. That's what targets are for. Think different within what the crowd thinks. Let's not worry about targets. All you got to do is see the path. Just see a path. No resistance, no problems, no headaches. Just see the path. So what I want to do now is just a second. I'm just saying, I need to drink water. Thank you. So now what I'm going to do is when the stock climbs and I get to, 164. Okay. Now we're talking round numbers, all right? Not like $82 is magical. It's not like 164 is magical. So, but what I am going to do is, let's say I have 2 contracts, all right? 2 contracts. When I get to 164, I'm going to close half. I don't care. I don't care if somebody says, well, this stock is guaranteed to go $180. That does not matter to me. What matters to me is I reach my goals. I already know that I can double my account, and that's all I want to do. Now, this is one of the things that blew my mind away when I started doing this, 3 years ago. And it's, if you just stick with this simple mathematical equation, the rest of it will take care of itself. So you're in a trade, it gets to 164, I become even more protective, but you can bet I'm going to close it at some point, close half of it, because I need to make my goal. Now, I'll hold the other half. I will give it a tiny bit more room. And you know what I have found? You get a chart that has a clear path, a good chart, the market's behind you, everything's good. If I close this, now this contract here is only worth $82, right? But if everything keeps working and it moves up, I've seen this number go up $300. I've seen it go to $500. Do you know what happens when that happens? You have now made 3 goals, 5 goals, 6 goals, 7 goals. This is how it has worked out, where instead of doubling the account in 12 months, I double the account in 3 months. Now I can't say it's going to be exactly 3 months, but this is how we took the first Road to Wealth account from $5,000 to the high of $78,000. Because one thing I didn't realize is, okay, that sounds great, but that's thinking one-sided. You have 5 positions on, you have 6 positions, 7 positions, 8 positions. You might be doing this 2 and 3 times a day. Or maybe you're not taking any profits off today, but during a 10-day trading period, you might close out 12 trades, 15 trades for your money. And then what happens, you see, if you can close out a trade and make multiple days of goals, that speeds up that 12-month thing. It's phenomenal. It has truly blown my mind away just thinking like this. Take the pressure off by trying to maximize every single trade. We call this base hits. Be happy with singles. Be happy. And by the way, if you have a bigger account, it's the same thing. It's still $243, 243 days in a year. I don't care if you have $1 million account. You can do the same thing. You just have to mathematically figure it out. But it takes so much pressure off. I don't need to make 100% in a trade. I just need to make $82. I just need to make 164, then I'll take 82 off. That's all I have to do. No pressure. None. Sorry, that is one topic I love to talk about. That is, well, yeah, I do. Okay, Dan, is the volatility stop based off of chart patterns, or is it a tool to guide you through stop setting? On TC2000, it's called volatility stop. Doug Campbell, he runs Right Way Options. He figured this out. I've never heard of the volatility stop. It meant nothing to me. And then a few years ago, Doug figured out that you take the volatility stop and he came up with 10.15, and you set it up for 10.15, and it works very well. Now you can tweak that, I'm sure. I'm sure people have done it. Everybody wants to monkey around with indicators. That's what indicators are for, by the way. They're just simply to monkey around with. That's it. It's kind of the way I feel about it. But I gotta tell you, that works great. And then from there, you can just follow that volatility stop. Now, Doug he's an animal when it comes to this. I mean, he's not like me. He doesn't take profits off as quick. He lets them run a little bit, and he'll let it move up. The volatility sets up again. That becomes his stop, and he'll run it up a little longer term. So it's just a tool. TC2000 has it. I'm sure other programs have it, but I don't know. I'm not trying to sell TC2000. I'm not trying to sell that tool. It's just there. And thank you, Doug, for figuring it out. So it's been a huge help to my success. Let's see. Which broker do you use? I use TradeHawk as my broker. And let's see. We can place an order at TC2000. Yeah. If you open an account with TC2000, you can do that, Shay. Yeah. I don't have a trading account with TC2000. No physical stop in your account, right? You know, Frank, how does that make it? That's another one of those questions. How does that make a difference in your trading? How does it make a difference whether I place a physical stop or not? And I'm not picking on you, okay? But there are things that there is a core importance of trading. And then there's all this stuff on the fringe. And the stuff on the fringe means nothing. This is you. You decide what you want to do. It doesn't matter whether I set physical stops or not. What matters is what Frank does. That has no bearing on your trading. And see, this is one of those fringe things that makes no difference. You need to do what's best for Frank, okay? You need to do what's best for Frank. With that said, I sit in front of my computer all day long. This is my job. No, I do not use physical stops. If I go away sometimes I'll run an errand at lunch. I don't care. The market's not going to crash in an hour. And if it does, it happens so rare, you'll be fine in life. If I go away, say overnight, if I'm not going to be here tomorrow, at all tomorrow, yes, I will set stops. Absolutely. But I'm here. So again, I hope that made sense. Again, thank you for the question. And I want to make it clear to everybody, that's one of those fringe questions. That's what do you want to do? Okay? Nicole, if you're using options, how do you set a stop? I use the chart here. Now, TradeHawk, which I think Thinkorswim has this, but in TradeHawk, I can go in. It's a little bit cumbersome, but I can go in and set a stop based on the price of the underlying stock, and then it triggers when that happens. You just have to get with your broker and ask them, and they'll show you how to do it. Yeah, it's not hard to do. It might be a little cumbersome, maybe. It's not my favorite thing to do, believe me. Not my favorite thing at all. Are you manually notified of your stop being triggered, or is your trade taken out automatically? See, automatically. Manny, it does. Thanks, Shay. I have only an investing account as of now. Will need to apply for options trading. What is preferred, TC, Fidelity? You know, honestly, Shay, I think if I was to do a poll in our trading room, I think Thinkorswim would probably win. More people use Thinkorswim. I think. Now, TC2000 is perfectly fine. Fidelity is fine. Ameritrade, fine. You know, you can. There's not there. I don't particularly have a preference. I use TradeHawk. You know, if I didn't use TradeHawk, I would probably use Thinkorswim or maybe Tasty Trade. I might use Tasty Trade. Vivi, can you please share your thoughts on DRI? Sure, and let's do just what I've been doing here. DRI. So DRI, I'm going to go back to here because this is the chart I mostly use right there. So you can see that we were in the trap and we just came over the trap. So right there, I like it. The trend, the 3 above the 8, 8 above the 17, 17 above the 34, the 34 trending, everything looks great. Looks great. I see here it broke out. I'm liking that trade. I'm liking that trade. Now, I got to tell you, I don't particularly like what it did here. I don't particularly like that. But if we're going to trade it, let's trade it. So I see we broke out, but I also think this is a trade maybe over this candle's high right there. So what I'm going to do is come up and put a buy box up there just like that. And I'm perfectly happy with buying it. Let's look at the monthly. That is crazy chart. Whew. Weekly. That's a crazy chart. So I'm going to come up here and do this. There's the top. That's going to be a target, or that's not so much target, but that's where I might expect there to be a little trouble on the water, right? I might expect that. So do I see a path to that? I do. So if I was to buy it inside that green box, is 9% worth it? Again, I'm going to trade an option, so 9% on the stock is probably 20+% on the option. Darn straight, I might trade that. That's plenty money. That'll meet my goal and then some. So let's look at a stop now. So let's go back to the volatility indicator. And by the way, you can have all this on one chart. I don't like looking at the volatility indicator. I can't imagine looking at those dots all day long. I just cannot imagine it. So that's why I don't have them on my everyday go-to chart. So I see here, there's our volatility stop. So I'm going to put a line there. Let me paint this red. Now, it takes a little longer doing it this way, but honestly, I do it in seconds. I do it in seconds. Not yet, Ed. Not yet, please. Thank you, though, Ed. Now let's go check out the 3-bar chart. You know, I'm going to check this out. Look at this, the 3-bar chart. See how we're up? See that resistance right there? See that resistance? Why do I like this chart? Because it's moving up, right? Where would I not like it if it started moving down? Well, I might not like it right here. So I'm going to put a little line there, and then I'm going to go back to that daily chart and take a look. And there's the volatility stop. So I'm going to paint that red, just like that. Now we're going to go to the daily, because that's where I'm going to shoot from. So let's take a look at this. If I was to buy it up here, would I be okay with it coming below that line? Truthfully, no, I wouldn't. Be a chartist. Be the best chartist in the world. Always strive for that. Now, you know, the best chartist in the world is going to not get it right. But always strive to be a good chartist. This is where big success happens. When you look at a chart and you can see the path up, great. If you know, don't buy a chart that you think is going to come back down. Why buy the chart? Have total confidence in it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that as my stop. So if I buy it in here, say at 117.54, my stop is 5.84% away. That's actually kind of high. My target area up here is only 7.7%. The risk reward in the are 8%. The risk reward in this is questionable, very questionable. So I kind of think there might be better trades out there for me. For me, I think there might be. But if you feel confident, if you buy it up here, man, that's plenty room to make some money up there. And that's exactly how I would do it right there. Let's see. Do your text alerts include position size? No, BB, because you have a different account size than I do. That's something you are going to have to do on your own. You know, how much you want to spend on that position. It's your money. You need to decide the risk. I do not want that responsibility of sharing my account size, although I've just showed you and told you what I do. I see you're using TC. I use TC2000 for charting. I do not believe there's a better charting package in the world. In fact, I think TC2000 owns the first 100 spots. After that, everybody comes in second place. I'm a dedicated TC2000 chart user, very dedicated. Oh, Malcolm, please, Malcolm, yes. Malcolm just posted, do you want me to post the LTA free trial? And anyone interested in taking a free trial on LTA, then you might want to click on this link. And also, here, I want to post a link out here as well. Let me go find it. And this is for a 7-day free trial with Hit and Run Candlesticks, okay? 7-day. No strings attached, nothing like that. So there you go. I'll make sure. There you go. There's a 7-day free trial to Hit and Run Candlesticks. That also includes the real-time alerts. Whoops. Oh, man. Now I have to go back and find out where I was. Man, there's a lot of questions there. Okay, hang on. I'm still looking for the... okay, I found it. Bob M., sorry I missed. What's the rationale for using the 3-bar chart? I just like looking at the chart. I think it is a really good chart. It gives you 3 bars. It breaks the day down into 3 bars, so 1, 2, 3. So you've got the first bar today, 2 bar today, 3rd bar today. When you're looking at candlestick signals and patterns, there's a ton of them that requires 3 bars. So now you can see 3 bars that make up the daily candle. And I like that. I like that a lot. It takes a little getting used to, I think, but I'm used to seeing it now. So I just know how today's candle was created, and I know what the makeup was. I know that I can look at this 3-bar chart, and I can see that we broke out of resistance. We consolidated with a nice little inside day doji here, another little inside day. So if I wanted to trade with this alone, then man, there you go. I'm bullish above that, whatever that was, 113.10. So it's just a way to break today, a daily candle down. So thank you, Malcolm. Malcolm's one of the traders that I was talking about. Malcolm is an exceptionally good trader, exceptionally good. And the cool thing about Malcolm is he's very open what he does. He posts in the trading room what he does. I think the world of that. Absolutely think the world of that. Let's see, Gordon. Thank you, Gordon. I appreciate it. Thank you. One quick thought would be, is there roughly a minimum open interest? 20 times the amount you're going to trade. Yes. 20 times the amount. I think that would be a good starting point. All right, 20 times. Do you ever feel that you left money on the table, Harry? Harry, every single day I feel like I leave money on the table. But let me ask you, what is your job? Okay, now I can't see what you type down there. I can't see that at all. But what is your job? Is your job to is it your job to pick an entry and pick a top? Is that your job, or is your job to make money? That might be something to think about this evening. What your job is actually in trading. So yes, a lot of times I think I left money on the table, but again, I doubled my account in 3 months. All right, I'm going to go to that. I'm going to continue to do what I do. And yes, there are a lot of people in the trading room that we might be in the same position. I will close it out and other people will keep it and make twice the money. That's their trading plan. I follow my trading plan. Let's see. Without knowing that, you feel so much pressure every day. It's not necessary. Yeah, you want to eliminate pressure. You don't want those things. BB, eye-opening. Isn't it crazy to think that all you've got to do is net? You have to net $42 a day, and you can turn $10,000 into $20,000 in 12 months. That's insane to think about that. It's crazy to me. Keeping it simple. Yep. I never thought that way to calculate to reach your goal. Thanks, Sam. No, Jason. Actually, the truth is, I would probably have to go get the exact amount, but I just know what happens a lot. And I would say most of my trades are somewhere between, I'm going to say 9% and 20%. And, 15% I think is probably a good, maybe in between line. So no, I don't need, I hear these people, I get these emails just like you guys, Joe Blow made 500%. Yabba dabba do, he's not telling you about the 700% that he lost. It's about making money. That's what we're here for. It's about making money. Nick, I hope you send out a recording. I will. It won't be recorded. It won't be finished till tomorrow. It's too late, and I'm getting tired, so I'll render it tomorrow. Let's see, Jake. Sometimes I need a target because I can't sit and watch the market all day. You know what, Jake? I get that. But what you might be able to do with your brokerage is you can set it up so that if it reaches a certain point, and you can probably pick that out, just do the math. If it reached, say, 5.73% up here, now this is the stock. That means you're going to make more like 13, 14, 15% on the simple directional option. So you might be able to, I think with your broker, you could probably set up, hey, if this stock reached $120.23, you're out of it. Who cares? Who cares if it keeps going? Who cares? I don't care. Let me put it that way. I don't care. Maybe you care. Drew, love it. How do you close out the other half? I just close it out. As long as it continues to work, I'll kind of stay with it. Let me back up. I shouldn't have said as long as it continues to work. I'm not noted for being in a stock for a long period of time. I'm not noted for that, and that's okay. But let's say that I close this out here, and then closed half of it out, and then let's say the other half went to this high right there. Why would I want the stress of screwing with it? Why not take all the money? We always think of risk right here. We always think of this as risk. We always think, you know what, I'm going to buy this trade and my risk is going to be $111.69 down to there. So I'm going to risk $300 on this trade to make whatever, okay? Have you or anybody, have you ever thought about this? The stock moves here, you just made, and you close half of it out. Well, you protected maybe $500, okay? I'm just making numbers up here. You protected $500. You no longer have that money at risk. It moves up here, maybe it's worth $1,000. Has anyone ever considered that that's risk? You just have $1,000 you could put in your pocket. Why would you want to risk that to make more money? Why? And see, this is the kind of stuff where you start making money, is when you stop thinking about the home runs. When you stop thinking about, and you're not actually thinking this. You're not maliciously thinking this. But if you held this out to some top, when you close it out finally, you're going to go tell somebody. You might go tell your spouse, you might tell people in the room. All that is you're patting yourself on the back. Get over that. Get over picking a top. There's no way in the world I'm going to risk $1,000. Say there's $1,000 there. I've got to go do the math. I'm doing it right now. Divide that by $82. I just made 12 goals. I just increased or decreased my 12 months by 12 days. This one right here, what is that? $500. Divide that by 82. I just decreased my 12 days by 6 days. Man, I've almost captured a month. Almost captured a month worth of trading on one trade. Why would I want to risk that money? Hope that made sense. Okay. What is 1015? I have no idea what 1015 is, Jake. Oh, you know what? I think I know what you're talking about. I think I do. The volatility stops setting. 10.15 right there. 10.15. Trade is a winner, so the key is always have a trade with 3-to-1 risk reward stop. That helps, Jason. Yeah, that definitely helps. Let's see. Is the V stop connected to the Trendicator? No, the V stop is like stochastics. Say on TC2000, you just stop. All it is an indicator. That's all it is. There it is, right there. It's just an indicator, is all it is. How do you find it? And think, okay. Let's see. Do you do Frank? If a physical stop is not set, then you cannot walk away from the trade. I get up and go to the bathroom all the time. I get up and walk my dog every day. I get up and go to mow the yard in the summertime. So again, Frank, it's your trade, your money. You're going to have to work your plan out. All right, you can't copy somebody else's plan. You're going to have to work. You're going to have to make peace with yourself how you want to trade. You've got to make peace with yourself. Be one with yourself. Be one with your trading. Be comfortable with whatever you do. I put in an alert to tell me when a certain stop is hit. That's one way to do it, yeah. You can set alerts on TC2000. You can set alerts that if it hits this price right here, that will send you an alert. I wonder if they can send it to your phone. That would be kind of cool, actually. Let's see. How do you stop out of an option? I close it. That's how. That's how you do it. With TradeHawk, and I know what you're really asking, though. Okay, I do know what you're asking. With TradeHawk, with Thinkorswim, with any quality trading platform, you can set a stop so that if the underlying stock, if that falls below a given price, it will trigger a stop out. You might be a little cumbersome to get it done, but you can do that. And you just need to call whoever, Thinkorswim or whoever. But I think that is possible on most quality programs. In TOS, I set my stop, okay, based on the stock. I set my stop on the option based on the stock. Thanks, Bobby. So I know that it can be done in TOS. JD, I'm not sure. Hell, okay, TOS. I'm trying to skip the questions between everyone here. Next, okay, now, Ed, if you're still here, would you mind drawing me a line there, pretty please? And then when he draws that line, I want to go over my checklist and make sure that I went over everything I wanted to go over, okay? Let's see, do you use options unless you really know what you're doing? You can, don't use options unless you really know what you're doing. Hey, look, I want to talk about what Jason just said there. Jason, boom. If Jason had a nail and a hammer, he'd be hammering that thing in the wood there. Right on. Look, not only is that the truth, but if you can't trade, don't waste your money. Learn how to trade first. Don't run out there and just start trading because Joe Blow makes money. Don't do it. Learn how to trade first. And I tell people all the time, if you're struggling, stop trading. And I mean that. Stop it. Look at charts. Continue to learn about charts, but stop spending your money if you're just losing it. Just stop. Don't reach out and always, well, I have to make a trade because I have to make $1. No, you don't have to make a trade, and no, you don't have to make $1. What you do have to do is don't spend all your money. Most people, not all, most people, if they get out there with $5,000, open up an account, or $10,000, open up an account, or please, more than that, I hope not, and you lose all that money, you're gone forever. And you're one of these people that will say, trading is a scam. It's a scam. No, it's not a scam. You just jumped into something that you didn't learn how to do before you lost all your money. So learn how to trade first, okay? That's important. That's so important. And don't get caught in this trap either. Don't get caught in this trap. This is a horrible trap to get caught in. Take HRC. We'll just use, whoops, I can't even spell it. HRC. Hit and run candlesticks, okay? Say you pay $100 a month. I don't know, okay? And say you have TC2000 and you pay $100 a month. And say you pay for something else. I don't know. Maybe it's $100 a month. So you've got trading cost of $300 a month in trading cost. You do not need to make that money back. No, you don't. You need to learn how to trade first. What education is free? There's none. And there is no more. The education you will get trading, if you if you think you have to make this back, will cost you a fortune. Trading will put you in the poorhouse if you don't learn how to trade. That will be the most expensive education you ever get in your life, right there. So you don't have to make it back. Don't get caught in that trap. Don't get caught in that trap where you think you have to make $1. No, you don't. Let's see here. Vivi, that's awesome. Thank you, Vivi. Appreciate it. 14, yeah, there's the scanner, folks. 14 days. And yeah. Just curious why the 330. You know, you you know, I like Diet Pepsi better than Diet Coke. Why? I don't know. I like Diet Pepsi better. You know, shoot, you do what you're comfortable with. But with the 3-bar chart, I can see 3 bars intraday and how the daily bar was developed, and I can see how it's developing. That to me is just very clear. Maybe you can do it with a 2-hour bar chart. There you go. Maybe you can see everything there. And there's nothing wrong with that. You can use whatever charts and whatever time frames you want. The key is, can you explain it? In other words, I can look at this and I can explain with you without a shadow of a doubt. I can tell you that the majority of candlestick patterns are developed with 3 candles. All right? So that 3 is important. I can tell you that I can look at the 3-bar chart and I can tell you exactly how the daily candle was developed. And I want to know that. Or how the daily candle is not developed. Let's go look at the SPY. Look at that. If you're looking at a daily chart, you're drooling over yourself. You are just absolutely drooling over this chart. I can see it developed with a 3-day chart. Now maybe you can see it develop in a 2-hour chart. All I'm saying is, whichever you use, make sure you can explain it. And I mean, make sure you know everything about it that you can talk about. And with this, I can clearly see candlestick patterns develop on a shorter time frame. And I get to see it with 3 bars, and that's how the majority of candlestick signals are developed. So that's why I use a 3-bar chart. Does LTA come with HRC? No, it does not. It is separately. I believe it's $147 a month, worth every nickel. Don't tell Ed, but if he raises prices, I'd still pay it. John, the reason I use a 3-bar chart is because the trading day is made up of 390 minutes. Divide 3 into 3 bars, 130 minutes. Hope that helps. Thank you, John. Christina, thoughts on CAR? So I look at CAR. I see all this. Do you want to fight that? I mean, do you really want to fight all that? See, this is the kind of stuff this is where the difference between success and not success comes. Do you really want to fight that right there? I don't. So I look at this chart. I love the trend, by the way, but I do not like the price action. However, if it was to break out, it would get my attention. But down here, you can trade it if you want, but I'm not. I don't want that battle. Why would I want that? You know what? I think I'm going to go out and saw some wood, but first, I'm just going to go ahead and run my thumb through the saw first. Oh, let's just do it, right? And to me, that's what that is. Hope that helped, Christina. I didn't mean to be so blunt about it, but it's getting late. But seriously, look at that. Is that really what you want to trade? Long on Monday, CRUS. You mean long? Stop 75. Well, what you've got to ask yourself, did you put an entry in there? 75. Oh, yeah, that's 75. I mean, as far as the percentage work, that certainly works. Yeah, that certainly works. But we're going to look at another chart too. And then you say a path to 81. What was it? 81, 81.34. Whoops. I'm going to go to a 3-bar chart, not three, not a three. I'm going to go to a 3-day chart. Excuse me, 3-day chart. And I want to look at what was your 81 and 34 right there. So you're comfortable with 4%? I don't know that I would be comfortable with 4%. That's not enough money. Not enough money. And then what'd you say? 75.90. %. So the risk reward is okay, but I think the whole idea of 4%, I don't think that. I think you're worth more money. Okay, I think you're worth more money than that. So I personally don't like the chart. And if you take a look at that 3-bar chart, here we have a bullish engulf. We rallied up. Here's our consolidation. I don't think I would want it to go past 75.58, which I'm actually lower than what you are there. So let's see here. John, you need to spend time in front of your computer every day to achieve. Is that a question, John? You have a question mark there. So I'm not sure if that's a question or an actual statement. It's written like a statement, but a question mark. So we'll try to answer it both ways. No, you don't have to be, but you do have to have a plan. You do have to have a plan. Let's take a look at, let's take it NIO. Everybody loves NIO, right? So I'm looking at NIO right now here, and let's get rid of all this. We don't need that. I'm looking at NIO, and I'm thinking that above $52, $52.10, I'm bullish on this. I'm ready to buy some above that line right there. So if you knew that, and if you knew where your stop was going to be, and I'm just going to put it right here, okay? Not that that's where my stop would be. If you knew that, then you could do this. You could put the buy box in there like so. And if you can see a path going higher, which I can, then you just set it up, with your broker. Or maybe you're able to be there in the morning and you're able to place your trades, then go away, do whatever you want to do. So you do not need to be here to trade. You do, however, need to be able to look at a chart and set that plan up. You've got to be able to make sense of it. So look at this chart here. Would we rather trade this chart? Sorry, don't mean to pick on you. Or would you rather trade this chart? This is not even a question for me. This chart looks like trouble until it breaks out. So I'll take this chart all day long because it's already broken out. So when you get where you can look at a chart and you have a definite chart pattern that you like, if you have this definite visual of what you want, of what's good and what's not, then there you go. You place your buy in there. You can go do what you want to do. And then when it triggers, you can set it up with your brokerage. You can set a stop if you want. Nowadays, although I'm not a fan of trading with your phone, I'm not a fan of that. But if you're already in a trade, I'm okay with that. I've done this many times. I've been out and then I log into TradeHawk, or not TradeHawk, excuse me. I log into Tradier. That's the actual brokerage account. I log into Trader. I've closed positions out. You know, I'm not trying to make a decision on a chart. I'm just saying, well, I think I'm going to close that out. So you can do that. But no, you don't have to be in front of your computer every single day. However, you do definitely need a plan on how you're going to do it. That you do need. Drew, so let's see. If you hit the daily trade goal on 4 positions, you close part or, well, it all depends on the trade, Drew. There's not, I don't know that you can answer that guaranteed. It all depends, are we, let's say tomorrow, well, for instance here, I'm in Apple. I bought Apple today. Whoops. I bought Apple today. I'm also in GILD. I bought Coke today. I'm also in Space. And I'm also in Telray. Bought that today. I bought Telray today. So let's think about this. I know for a fact that I'm taking Friday off. Now, I'll be here early in the morning of Friday, but I'm taking Friday off. Thursday's a holiday. The weekend is the weekend. So let's say these stocks move up, every one of those that I just posted, and I make my goals. Am I going to keep them or am I going to close them? The answer is I'm going to close them, by the way. So it really depends on the situation, things like that. All right? Depends on the situation. It's not a slam dunk answer on that one. Oh, Ron, can you explain the difference between hit and run candlesticks and right way offerings, different trading styles? Slightly, yes. Different trading styles. Also, Doug gets more into options where I won't even talk to you anything other than the stock trade or simple directional puts and calls. I'll refer you to Doug. Doug gets more into options. He's the finest option trader I've ever been around, and I've been around many, and absolutely the best I've ever listened to, and I have listened to a lot. I tend to be a little quicker. He's a little bit slower, but I got to tell you, Doug is a little bashful. Doug's a little bit bashful about his account. I'm not bashful. He's a little bit bashful, and I can tell you, he makes a lot of money. Makes a lot of money. He's just a little bashful about it. I hope that helped, Ron. Let's see, Dave, the scanners that you talk about, are they only for members or for trial members? Dave, if you're talking about live trading alerts, anybody, you don't even have to be a trader if you want to pay for it. If you're talking about the real-time alerts where you get an alert on your phone when I buy a position, when I sell a position, when I adjust a position, you have to be a member or a trial member. 7-day free trial. They have access to this for their 7 days. Members. So you have to be a member of some sorts. Okay. I love it, Gordon. I never used to think of that, Gordon, till till early 2018. I never thought of it that way. And I'm very goal orientated, but I've never really thought of profits as a goal. Never have. And when I started trading options when I created the first Road to Wealth account, it something just happened, and it's the coolest thing. I can't imagine doing anything other than that now. Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Hey, Murrah. Would you consider using a trailing stop when you reach your goal? Yes, absolutely. So there's no risk. Absolutely. I do that all the time with much success. Absolutely. Is this Murrah from Florida by any chance? And also, and hi, if it is, and hi if it's not. Yeah, absolutely. There's different trading styles out there, and if you want to keep moving that stop up, there is absolutely nothing at all wrong with that if that's your trading style. I'm all for that, absolutely. Let's see. Can we save our chart studies in TC? Yes, you can, Shay. Yeah. Yes, Bobby, you don't have to be in the room all day because you get Rick's alerts on the app on your phone. Oh, yeah, thanks, Bobby. I forgot about that. Yeah, you don't have to be in the room. You can be fishing, and you can be at the doctor's. You can be asleep, and you're still going to get the apps or the alerts. Of course, your phone has to be on, but you do not have to be in the room. The app itself does not have to be turned on. Your phone just has to be turned on. And what you did is you get a pop-up alert. And then you can go look at all the alerts as well. Thank you, Bobby. And with TOS app, you can trade anywhere. Yeah, and they do have a good app. I have to admit. I've looked at that, Bobby. They do have a good one. Malcolm, thank you. Ed, thank you. All right, let me go over, make sure my list here, moving average trending. Oh, here's one thing I want to look at. Here, let's look at this. Let's look at, let's make this stay on top. So let's take TXN for an example. Whew, man, it looks ugly there, doesn't it? Let's switch to, all right, here's the way I normally have my chart set up. First of all, you don't need the 3 EMA up there to know that it's in the trap. You don't need that. The 34 EMA, I've got it dimmed down so you actually can hardly see it. I can barely see it. I don't want it to be staring at me, and same with the 50. That's my typical chart right there. So one thing I want is I do not buy on candles like this. I don't buy negative candles. I don't look at this candle here and think, man, I'm going to make a really cool entry. I don't do that. I want to buy candles that look like this, buy candles that look like this or this or this. I want to buy bullish candles. I do not want to buy when we're moving down. That just, to me, that's just wrong in all kinds of ways. But a lot of people do it, and it works for a lot of people. I'm just sharing what I do. I will, if I'm in a position and it's down, I will add to it sometimes on a down candle, but I don't enter a position on a down candle. When you're looking at a chart on the daily, sometimes you can get a clearer view if you look at a 2-day chart or a 3-day chart or a 4-day chart or a 5-day chart. Sometimes you get a clearer view of what's going on. I look at this chart here, maybe you can't figure out where you might want to put a stop. Maybe you can't figure something out about it. So let's go to a 2-day chart. All of a sudden in a 2-day chart, I clearly see a pop out of the box setup here. Clearly see that. 3-day chart, I'm going to go with the 2-day chart. I'm going to go with the 2-day chart. I think the 2-day chart rocks. So I'll make all my decisions, my initial decisions on that 2-day chart. So I can clearly see it now. And you may clearly see it on the daily too. I'm just pointing out, sometimes you can go to a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day, 5-day. And I don't ever go past 5-day to do this. I can see there's resistance. I can see that there's support outside of intraday slipping down. That must be a pretty important area. So now I'm going to go to the daily chart because that's my go-to chart. That looks like a pretty important area. So that would be a good place to maybe put a stop. So bullish candle there. Let's see, trade with goals. I want to emphasize one more time, be a chart master. Be a master of charts. There is you don't need to be a master of the option chain. There's no point in that. There's no value in being the master of an option chain. It's very simple. Here's what I do, okay? You may do something different, but it's very simple what I do. I automatically go 50 days plus. I look for open interest, and I match it up to a delta around 70, round 70. So 64. You know, if I really wanted to trade really bad, I might go 64, but that's kind of low. 82 is perfectly fine, and just make sure you have that open interest. This is not rocket science. This is one and done. Write this down. You never have to talk about this again. You don't have to burden yourself with, okay, what do we do here? It's very simple. 50 days plus, good open interest, 70 delta, good open interest, 20 times what you're going to trade or more. And you know what? If you don't find it on this January, go to the March. Maybe you'll find it. Go to the April. Maybe you'll find it. Focus on the chart. The chart is the answer. The chart is the answer to success and taking profits, okay? Oh, let's see. I'm hungry now. I've eaten dinner and I'm hungry again. Let's see. Thank you, everybody. Thanks. Thank you, Shu. Appreciate it. See, if you have 3 bars per day, I also see the overnight trades and candle patterns. You can see intraday, yeah. You can see pre-market. It works intraday, yes. And after, yes. Thank you, John K. Appreciate it very, very much. Let's see here. I use BOP on. I see BOP on your charts. Do you use it in any way? I really don't. I really don't. Doug uses BOP an awful lot. I have it up here. There's also MACD here. The reason MACD is up here, on one of my charts, I also have stochastics somewhere. Where is it? There it is, stochastics. And that's because I've been doing training with somebody, private coaching, and they want to use those indicators. So we've been working on ways to do that. That's why. But I do not use those. See, Jake, when you've got your box set up, there's still lots of times. There's still lots of times prices that you can buy out. How do you decide when to enter within the box? Oh, good question. Good question. All right, let's look at DSS. This is one of our trade ideas a couple days ago, and it's popping out today. So I'm going to get rid of everything here. So let's look at the buy box based on today's candle. So what I'm going to do is just really wrap the buy box around today's candle. There's no trickery there. That's all it is. You're just wrapping today's candle, or multiple bars maybe. I like to buy an inside day, so ultimately we would like to buy somewhere inside that buy box, right? Where to buy? You know what? And this is God's honest truth. I don't give a hoot what price I pay for it. I never care whether I pay $5.19 or I pay $5.31. Nobody ever made money trying to pick some secret entry. Well, take a look at the chart. Do you see a path to a higher price? Do you see the possibility of getting up here to $5.85? Do you see that possibility? Does it matter? Let's say we pay $5.37. That's 9.7% away. Is that enough money for you? I think it is. I absolutely think it is. Tons of money can be made like that. Do I see a path up into this area here? And we're gonna go right here because we have that high right in here, right there. So I'm gonna go there. So again, let's pay $5.35. The very high of the buy box is 13.6% enough money? I would argue that it is enough money. So I don't care where I buy it in this box. To me, it's about a good solid chart pattern, which I think we have here. And then it's about what can it do for you. It's got nothing to do with me about the entry. I put the buy box in there. I love that. The 3/8 trap. I love the 3/8 trap. Let's put that up. So it can be bought in the trap, or I like buying the breakout of the trap. The breakout of the 3. I love that. I love that area right there. Buy in that area. That's what I look for. I just don't give a hoot about the exact entry in the buy box. Let's see. When you have a plan, you can at least stocks bracket order. Yeah, when you have a plan, you can set all that stuff up. You can set the bracket order up. Learn how to place bracket orders, which puts in the entry, the target, and the stop at the same time. Then it either works or you get stopped out. That's, thank you, Jim. Jim's last statement there. Then it either works or you get stopped out. Look, in stock trading, you can't guarantee it works. When you buy something and you have everything set up, that's it. Jim nailed it. It either works or it doesn't. There's no more than that. Set your plan up. Look for good chart setups. Put your stop in. It either works or it doesn't. Hey, Murrah. Glad it's you. Nice. Nice to hear from you. Thanks. Let's see, Chris, could you please repeat the 5 stocks you bought today? Apple, Coke, and Telray. Those are the ones I bought today. I'm in GILD and Space as well. Is the 3-day chart a chart where every bar is a third of the day? Yes, it is, Jake. Yes. Thank you, Dick. Thank you very much. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it very, very much. Thanks for all your questions, too. Shay, thank you so very much. Thank you, Shay, for being here. Appreciate it. I do not know what BOP is. You can Google it and look at it. See, just Google it. Personally, I've never figured it out, but a lot of people have. Pinball pattern is perfect application for a bracket order. Yeah, Jim's right. Jim, by any chance, do you have a pinball set up handy? And I will demonstrate that real quick. Thank you, Doll. Thanks for your questions, by the way. I'm going to wait and see if Jim has I know he does. Okay, thanks. So what Jim said there, the pinball pattern is a perfect application for the bracket order, and I'll show you what he means there. And he's right. It is perfect. Thank you, B12. B12. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, look, folks, I really look. Everybody has got to find their own path in trading. Everybody really, really does. And the way we learn is we learn from other people. That's what I did. I learned from other people. And there was a lot of things I've learned that does not work for me. So I don't use them. There's things that I've learned that does work for me, and I use them. There's things I've learned on my own, and I use those. There's things that I've learned on my own that I realize now was garbage, and I don't do that anymore. So you have to find your place. You really have to do this in trading. You can't just cookie cutter what somebody else does. But I do think it is so beneficial. Wow, Jim. It is so beneficial to learn from other people and take their insight. Good Lord, I did. Please, I'll tell you what, I learned everything I could from traders till I found my path. I really did. So, all right, let's go to AAOI. Thank you, Jim. AAOI. Let me make this line right here darker. There we go. The pinball setup is all about, I'm going to make this line not there. There we go. The pinball setup, and that's a nice one, by the way. My goodness. My goodness, thank you. The pinball setup is, this was my answer years ago to always losing money. This really was. This was the chart pattern that pulled me from wishing to trading for a living to actually trading for a living right here. I was a bottom trader. This is how I was taught. Look for candlestick signals. I was taught to use stochastics, oversold stochastics, and all I did was lose money. Well, I had to figure out how to make it work, and this is all I knew. That's all I knew. So what I did is I started putting moving averages up there and things like that. I'm not going to go through that whole spiel, so let's just get to this. I found that when charts moved over the T-line here, then the probabilities of them moving higher was very, very good. Very good. I found that the probabilities of moving to the 34 EMA were very good. Doesn't mean it had to always get there, but move there. So say right there, almost a 13% trade. So this being a pinball setup, it actually became a pinball setup 3 days ago. And it's a pinball setup yesterday, and it's a pinball setup today. Anything over the T-line. So let's do this. So say the bracket order would be, I want to close it if it closes below the T-line. Now, based on what we know here, this would not be the buy, by the way. The buy is the following day or the next day or the next day or the next day or the next day. So that would be my stop. That would be the bottom right there. And then my target would be, at the time, the target was the 34. I've learned since then that doesn't have to be your target. That's the direction. That's the path it's going. So I might come in here and do something like this, that low right in there. So you could set that bracket order up. Maybe let's set up a buy. So maybe you want to buy when it triggers above this candle. So let's paint this. Let's paint this green for buy, and we're going to paint this for red for stop. There we go. So there's the bracket there, and then that would be your price target up here. And you can even set that up on quality charting programs or trading program platforms. You can set that up where close me out when it reaches a certain price. So that's a nice one. Thank you very much, Jim. I appreciate that. So anyway, that would be a good way to do that. Okay. Whew. I'm pooped. Can we call it a night? Would that be all right with everybody? So starting, I'm going to call it December 1, okay? But December 1, starting basically tomorrow, but again, we're going to use December 1 as the date. The new Road to Wealth account will have $20,000 in it, or $19,972, and my goal will be to double it in 12 months. I'll keep you posted how it's going. I always post all my trades. We even post my trading account, which I apologize. We have not done that in a while. The trading account, it closes. The statement comes out in about 8 days. We will get that posted on the website. But I since January of 2018, I've posted my account there so everybody can see it. And I fully intend to still do that. All right. Alrighty. Later, Gator. We'll see everybody. You guys take care. Have a great night. See you tomorrow.